I want to start off by talking about what BlackRock means to the community. And I want to tell you a personal story because it all harkens back to me in elected office and me in the quasi city of Germantown. When my wife and I were looking for a place to live, when we were starting our family and needed to move out of an apartment that we had in Rockville, we were looking all across the county and couldn't find a place that we could afford, even in the area that I grew up in, Silver Spring. And we stumbled upon a nice little quaint neighborhood of Germantown. Now it's interesting because for those who actually know Montgomery County, if you grew up in southern parts of Montgomery County, you really didn't travel up north much. There wasn't a conversation about, oh, let's go to Germantown or let's go to Damascus. That wasn't what happened. It was more, oh, let's go into DC or into downtown Silver Spring. And the reality is that was unfortunate because I learned all too quickly about some of the great things that Germantown had to offer. And one of them, as my wife and I looked at places to live, was this beautiful facility that had just been built called BlackRock Center for the Arts. And I'll never forget the real estate agent told me, they said, look, and your townhome would actually back up right to this beautiful facility called BlackRock Center for the Arts. I said, what's that? And they said, it's this facility that just got built and it's going to have all different kinds of shows and you can take your children there and it'll be beautiful. And plus we have this Germantown Town Center that's being built around it. You have a wonderful library it's going to be phenomenal. And we bought into the dream and the vision. And it's very rare that you actually have dreams and visions that actually come to reality in terms of the way that BlackRock Center for the Arts has. Because it's not just served as a cultural venue and kind of a linchpin for the Up-County region, but it's also served as something more for our community as well. I'll never forget that there was a tragic fire that happened in the borderline of Germantown and Montgomery Village area. And this family lost everything as a result of this fire. It was right before Christmas. And we actually reached out to BlackRock Center for the Arts, and Kathy Matthews will remember this all too well. I said, Kathy, we need to ask people to drop off stuff there for this family. And she said, okay, because that's what BlackRock does. And it was amazing to see the outpouring of support from the community. In fact, so much so that I actually had to go and rent a U-Haul truck. We didn't anticipate that we would get as much stuff as we did, and ended up to where it was so much that the family couldn't even take what the community gave. And we ended up giving it to Up-County, to many of our facilities. I think it was Cindy Majane, right? Right, with Germantown Help and others. That's what BlackRock has always meant to our community. And so it's really cool to see that over 20 years that now we have the Up-County Community Hub, this resources hub that's there that pretty much does this each and every day for members in our community. I was just there a couple of weeks ago where we were giving out computers to those that didn't have it and also signing them up for the ever important Affordable Connectivity Program so that they could get free internet access as well. It started off as a cultural hub and became something more for the community. And it really says something about Germantown itself. It's why I'm proud to be a part, why I've been so proud to have lived there for 19 years, and then also be a representative of that area for the entire time that I've been not only a council member, but also a state delegate. It's home. And it really is something that means so much. Not just to me and my family, but to every single family that lives there. Germantown has struggled for a very long time to be on the map, to be recognized and supported for being one of the largest areas in this county of people, larger than Rockville, larger than Gaithersburg, Silver Spring in terms of population. And now, we finally see Germantown for what Germantown is. And as that young boy who grew up not knowing anything about Germantown, I'm proud to stand before you as an older man who appreciates and understands all that Germantown has to offer. And so I really want to thank BlackRock for its continued commitment to our community, diversifying its performances and showcases of artists' wares that highlight every single facet of our community. That truly speaks to who we are as a community in Montgomery County and who we should be as a community in this nation and in this world. I'm proud to be a part of the BlackRock family. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, but did want to acknowledge some great people that we have with us today. Marilyn Balcom was the founding CEO, and it's kind of surreal that Marilyn Balcom will now be coming on as your next District 2 council member. We've got Stacy, yes. We've got Stacy Ornsby, who's the board chair, Lynn Art, who's our legacy CEO, and Katie Hecklinger, who is our current CEO of BlackRock Center for the Arts. But I'm going to start with our founding CEO, Marilyn Balcom, who's going to tell you a little bit about what the vision of BlackRock was. Marilyn.
Thank you, and thank you, Craig, for doing this. This is a very special commemoration, the 20th anniversary. I had the great honor of overseeing the construction and the opening of BlackRock, and I've always said that it was my greatest professional accomplishment. We'll see what happens after next week. but BlackRock, I think the most important thing about the history of BlackRock and the beginning of BlackRock is that it was community-led. It was a ragtag team of community activists who demanded an art center right smack in the middle of our community. And it's been the community that's nurtured it all these years with partnership from the county, the state, and everyone who comes, our sponsors, our donors, and I couldn't be more proud to be part of the long history of BlackRock. So thank you so much.
My name is Lynn Andreas Arndt, and I'm a former CEO of BlackRock Center for the Arts. My tenure falls between that of Marilyn, who, as you know, is the first director, and it was under her, it was her responsibility to help create the vision of BlackRock and its role in the community. And Katie Hecklinger, the current CEO, whose responsibility it is to continue to refine that vision and BlackRock's role going forth. Not an easy thing to do now. I had the privilege of leading BlackRock throughout the COVID shutdowns, and there's a little bit of laughter there, but I do, and well deserved, but it was a privilege. It was a privilege to work with all the people standing behind me. What's interesting is that the group behind me represent the supporters and the board members from the initial board. Some have been on the board for many years, to John Compton leading the board through COVID, and Stacy Terry Ormsby taking it forward. What is really unique is that philosophy of BlackRock as a community led by the community. These people are behind me. I thank the council for their support throughout the 20 years, and especially during COVID, because without its support, the board could not have taken action and thought beyond the box and created the up-county hub, which now has been duplicated elsewhere. It would have been very hard, to be honest with you, to say no to Grace Rivera Oven and Crystal Carr Townsend, the founders, because they are board members. But the board of an arts organization saw the value and trusted them and created something really unique that has been supported throughout the county. A proclamation is really a symbol. It's a piece of paper, but it's owned by each and every person here, every board member, every staff person, every volunteer, and truly every donor. So it's going to be hung with pride for a job well done, and I thank the council, I thank you, and I thank all these incredible, incredible people, every one of you. It's been an honor to work with you.
Well, good afternoon. Such a time as this. This is an exciting moment to celebrate 20 years of community involvement, collaboration, and partnerships, resilience through difficult times, and an evolution of programming, outreach, and cultural awareness. One of my favorite quotes is by famed author and filmmaker Zora Neale Hurston. And she's quoted as saying, "There are years that ask questions and years that answer." And as I stand here today as the first African American board chair of the BlackRock Center for the Arts, I represent the question and the answer, the importance of diversity and inclusion and representation, not only in board leadership, but within the arts. Through our programs, our education and outreach, BlackRock answers the question of what role does art play in a community? Well, art unites people of different backgrounds and cultures. Art educates and instills appreciation of those differences. And so as we embark upon year 20 and beyond, BlackRock will continue to answer the call to reflect our community's voice, culture, values, education, to execute our mission, to invest in our youth, in our community, not only here in Montgomery County, but beyond our district and county lines. So thank you so much for acknowledging and valuing and honoring the work that BlackRock has done from vision to execution, and for your anticipated continued support in the years to come. I had to put that plug in there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to a fellow Germantownonian, if that's a word. We just made it up because those of us from Germantown are extremely proud of our hometown. My name is Katie Hecklinger, and I'm the CEO of the amazing BlackRock Center for the Arts. And thank you to the council for inviting us here to celebrate 20 years. A place conceived by and relentlessly supported these last 2 decades by you and the community. A place that is championed by and advocated for by our county and by state representatives who understand the impact of the arts and the cultural mainstay that BlackRock has become to the Up-County. The people in this room, along with our committed partners, membership and patrons, have been vital to the organization. We are grateful to have so many of you with us here today to celebrate the experiences of the last 20 years. And thank you to the past board members and present. Your unwavering support has made the last 2 decades possible. Thank you to our BlackRock staff, many that are back at camp working on Giving Tuesday and hosting Osher University today, for your cultural leadership as we emerge from this pandemic that in the eyes of the arts is way from being over. For those of you who have not been, the center is a vibrant and bright future. It has a critical role to play in the cultural anchor of our distinctively diverse and dynamic community. The Lawn is a host to a myriad of crowds and concerts, film screenings, or even a place to find solitude. But BlackRock is always, always welcoming with an invitation in and to engage. Thanks to the state bond, Plans are underway, and we are in the initial stages of a revitalized lawn and outdoor stage. And even though we love the Germantown Library, we are very excited not to be mistaken with it in the years to come. Inside, the arts educate, the arts enlighten, the arts spark opportunity and break down barriers. The arts connect people in unique ways. And art happens when performance, movement, a painting, or perhaps a conversation sparks a new idea, forges a shared experience, or conveys a new worldview. BlackRock provides a place to be better in touch with our human experience with each other. The arts in Montgomery County, the arts in the Up County, and the arts in Germantown are essential. We know, all of you, that we are just getting started. We appreciate your continued partnership, solidarity, and support, from the Juneteenth celebrations to our outreach programming in schools to the exquisite gallery exhibitions, or maybe we'll see you this Saturday at the holiday market. It starts at noon. We have many, many school choirs singing on the outdoor stage, hopefully, if it doesn't rain. If not, we'll sing anyway. But thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you to the council. Thank you for the proclamation. It will be hung with pride, and you'll come visit soon as you'll have more time. Happy anniversary to BlackRock Center for the Arts.
All right, Katie, so as you were speaking and as some of the others were speaking as well, I just wanted to make sure that as the chair of education and culture, I lift up the power of the arts in our community. When I mention the name George Floyd, you automatically envision two images. One is, unfortunately, the picture of Derek Chauvin leaning and kneeling on George Floyd's neck. But hopefully the other that you envision is the mural that represented the spirit of what it is that we need to do collectively to make our community a better place. The power of art and culture in our community is transformational. It is inspirational. It is something that truly will help us to enact change. So, the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland proclamation reads, whereas BlackRock Center for the Arts is the cultural and economic anchor of Upper Montgomery County, reflecting, celebrating, and engaging the diversity of our communities through programming and participation at all levels of the organization, and where it is the mission of BlackRock Center for the Arts to bring inspiring performing and visual arts experiences to diverse audiences in a welcoming and intimate setting, creating opportunities for all to explore, celebrate, and engage in the arts. And whereas BlackRock Center for the Arts reaches thousands of people each year with its shows featuring top regional, national, and international talent from the worlds of jazz, blues, go-go, Celtic, funk, world, and bluegrass, and contemporary theater performances for audiences of all ages. Something for everyone. And whereas the center features 2 art galleries providing opportunities for the creative expression of artists and the active engagement of the community through its exhibitions, and by presenting programs and artistic experiences of the highest quality to attract, retain, and grow participation in the arts. And whereas BlackRock Center for the Arts was envisioned and established through a grassroots effort and has been operating at its current location in Germantown since 2002, serving as not only a cultural icon, but a community one as well. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognizes and celebrates the 20th anniversary of BlackRock Center for the Arts, presented this 29th day of November in the year 2022, signed by myself and Gabe Albornoz, our council president. Congratulations, BlackRock. I would ask my colleagues if you want to stand, since we have so many people up front, and then we'll take the picture.